say that. Okay, are you ready for this one? It goes
Always
like,
ready for this.
like, oh, you are? Okay, good. Then we do it. Three, two, one.
Perfect.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
It
That was pretty
was.
good.
It was really
And
in
I
sync.
and I think with that, you also managed to bring us up live on the beautiful world of podcasting, YouTube, and stuff like that. So, with that said, very much welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 217 of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Roger Bergström. I'm talking all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. Hello, words. And it's evening here, and we are recording, and it's great to have you around. And as always, my dear friend, Kudus Campbell, how are you doing, sir?
Good.
You're
Good.
good.
It's
Yeah.
as good as I can be. It's nice and warm outside. Wearing summer
Yeah.
jumpers. It's
Yeah, and
when
shorts. You have shorts on.
I do have shorts on. Yeah, my legs out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got my legs out. Got on
that's
some shorts.
beautiful. Yeah.
I even picked up a few more shorts. Because I was like, what, gotta have that short sweater stuff. And so I've got a lot of cool things going on, but some not so cool things.
A
Yeah.
mix, I hear. Yeah, you hinted yesterday. You see, guys, we want to say this straight away. We were supposed to record yesterday, meaning Wednesday. It's Thursday now when we're recording. We were close to the hour, so to say, to start. But then we got in contact with each other as we do, and well, things happen. You can actually start. You can explain a bit, like.
So I was about to go live, and Zavi comes in, and he's like, "Oh, it's much." Essentially he came in his video so much, and I saw his foot. Essentially, it was swollen, his toe. So I think, is it on his left foot, swollen, and you can see like there was skin hanging out of it. It was sort of like oozing,
Oh,
and it was.
ouch.
I would show you guys a picture, but you guys would be quite repulsed, and I don't think I want to put that up. But
Maybe not. Yeah.
essentially, his foot was quite. It was quite not quite what you would like to see. And essentially, what it is. And by the way, I need to get closer because, according to listeners, some listeners, apparently, when I move away from the mic, you hear me. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it has a certain distance when it works better than
I think I can I
other
can I can
distances.
raise
Yeah.
the volume on the mic itself, but I don't want to do that. I think that'll just mess with the
Yes.
ooh, Lola the sexy empire. Items in your wish list.
What's happening now? Is
Oh,
it a
sorry,
game
it's
or what
not
are we doing?
Steam. It's a game. It's
Okay.
GOG. GOG is trying to tell me a game that I have in my wish list.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll deal with
Got
that
it.
later. Never mind. I thought that was a comment in the comments because it was right next to the comment section. There, so I was like, "What the hell? Who is this?"
Ah, okay.
Anyway, so he tells
Yeah.
me his So I see his foot. I'm like, bloody hell, mate! Like you've like what the hell, right? In the end up I said, I've got to get him new shoes because Zavi told me like about a week ago that he needed new shoes, right?
Mm.
And I said to him, okay, cool, because I'm a very proactive kind of top tier bando of dreams. So I said, you know what, I will get you new shoes, right? That's the kind of dad that I am. I'll get you new shoes. Let's meet me in town on Saturday. This was like a Saturday ago. I said, meet me in town. My guy's like, okay, cool, right? I'm in town that day. I'm waiting for him, but I'm with Ty and I'm with my sister, and we're not gonna stand around in a shoe store. So we go to a bookstore where Ty can read a book and we can look at some books, and it's all right. We're waiting, and Zavi just never turns up. The guy just never turns
Oh,
up. So like
aha,
I think like
okay.
maybe an hour or something passes, and then Zavi calls me back, and he's like, "Dad, where were you?" He calls me in a sort of accusatory sort of way. He's like, "Where were you? I was in town. I went around all the shoe stores and you weren't there." I'm like, "Mate, I wasn't in a shoe store, number one. And two, why didn't you just call me?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm here now. Can we meet up?
Why
Maybe.
didn't you just call? You got a phone. Why didn't you just call me? And I always say to Zavi, always charge your phone. His response was, "Oh, my phone was charging at home." So
Okay.
So I'm like, so you left the house knowing that you had to come and meet me without a phone, and you're upset with me that you couldn't find me because you did not, you didn't prepare. You just left the house. I basically was just like, look, I ain't having that. That's some nonsense, right? And I just said to him, look, you will get shoes when I have a chance, because in the middle of the week it's really difficult for me to go to a shop or something like that. I've got
Yeah,
work
yeah,
and
yeah,
all that
yeah.
kind of stuff,
It's
and it's sort of like the times I finish and all the stuff that I have to do, around the house, sorting out stuff for Tide, anything else I have to do around, it usually means that I'm finishing at a super late time. So I'm not having the time
yeah,
to just go, oh, let's go to the shops, because shops around here seem to close a bit early sometimes. Some shops close around 6, some close around 8, but it depends.
yeah.
And my guy, his toe got worse, and basically, because I all I saw was the toe. I didn't know it had like gotten swollen, and I shouldn't say. Sorry, he mentioned to me that he needed new shoes.
Mm.
But it wasn't like he was in some drastic need of like his toe is falling apart or something like that, or his feet were swelling. But in the end, it got to the point where it was oozing and stuff, and I was like, look, go get some shoes. So I went yesterday, had to sort of like cancel podcast to like reschedule for today. And we went to buy shoes. Now I said to Rog when I was leaving, I said, Rog, look, I'm buying him no expensive shoes, because this is Zavi here. Every time we buy him something expensive shoes or whatever, yeah, one or two things that happens: either he loses it or he damages it. It just happens all the time, right? So he's lost football trainers, and then come to ask me, like, we bought him expensive football trainers at the beginning of the year. I think was it last year or something. And he comes to me, like middle of the year, Dad, football is coming up. I need trainers. Where's the football trainers we got you? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
Yeah. Oh my god.
He does,
Oh.
but I'm supposed to buy you new. No, not happening. I told him, look, if I buy you something once and you lose it, I'm not buying it again. Like that is irresponsible.
Mm.
He's lost his phone before a few times actually,
Okay.
and on those few times we've had to chase down trying to find the phone. Right, either going to the school, or calling a bus company one time when he took a trip to was it they went to Austria for a ski trip.
Yeah, that I
Um,
remember. I remember that. Yeah.
exactly. So when it comes to buying Zavi stuff, like I like buying my kids stuff, like especially when it's cool stuff, and as a cool bando, like the last time I bought him some, he told me his sort of like going out trainers were getting too small. And so I bought him a pair of trainers. Like I took him out and I bought him a pair of trainers. And I said, I'm gonna get you a cheap one, so don't look for anything expensive, but go find something you like. He comes back to me with a Shaq trainers. Raj, I've never heard of Shaq making trainers before. Shaquille O'Neal. I was like, and
Aha, okay.
the stitching
Okay.
on the trainers looks so homeless. I was like, I'm not sending you out there like that. Are you mad? Like, we're not doing that. Not in our house. That's homeless. So I ended up buying him some nice trainers. I bought him some Adidas, some really nice ones, which cost more, but I was willing to get him nice trainers. Now, all I said to him is, if anything happens to these trainers, you can get nothing else, right? And so far the trainers have been so far so good. I mean, he hasn't really gone
Yeah.
anywhere in them much, but so far so good. But for school shoes,
Nice.
where she
Yeah.
will have to go to school every day, I know that. First day of school when he started this new school, Roger, I'm telling you, he comes back home and the front of his, because their school, they wear like dress shoes and stuff. The front of his shoes, the leather is all ripped off the front of it. I'm like what? Like, oh,
Wow.
I was cycling to school in them. Now, we've said to him, you should have trainers for like, cycling in and changing to your school shoes when you get to school.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He cycled in them, and then the whole leather is all scraped up and stuff like that. And even if you cycle, it shouldn't be that bad. Oh, he fell down or something. I'm just like, mate, you've been cycling for how many years? You should not be just falling down all the time, scraping up your shoes. That's something that you should be cautious. Take your time. You know your route to school. That's not something I expect from you. Like, and your first day back to school with a new pair of shoes. But anyway, point is, it happened. Right. And so now I'm going to town to get him some shoes because he was speaking to today. I was going to go today, and he's speaking to Alex on the phone, and she's like, she's like, oh, I want to talk to Dad. So he comes in, and she's like, oh, babe, can you like get him some new shoes? I was like, yeah, I'm already on it. Like, I'll sort out the shoes. She's like, yeah, but can you get him Clarks? I was like, Clarks? I was like, he's not going to take care of that. Like, it's not gonna last. She's like, yeah, but they're comfortable, and like they make them good. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, Clarks, that's upwards to like maybe like 60 to 100 and something quid.
Yeah, probably quite
I'm
expensive.
just
Yeah.
I'm just like, are we really spending 70 quid on a pair of trainers for a pair of shoes that Xavi's going to wear to school that he's going to definitely probably damage or lose? In the end, you know what it's like when you have a missus, Rod. You must know this.
Yeah.
It's one of two things. Either you argue with them to try to get your point across, which is logical and you know it makes sense, or you just concede and say, look, whatever, I'll just do whatever. I'll get the stuff that you want, but I told you so.
Yeah, right. It's like,
So
oh my God, yeah.
I told the boys, get ready. I was like, look, just get ready. I was so irritated. I was just like, get ready now. I don't want to hear anything. They came trying to chat. I was like, I don't want to hear anything. Just get ready. We're going out. All right. They got ready. Blah, blah, blah. We get to the shops. Rudge, guess how much I paid for the clocks?
You said, I mean, I don't know, but I heard you mentioning something like 60 or up to 100 quid or something.
Yeah.
So where did it land? 80?
No, actually lower than that. I paid 70.
Okay, well, yeah, but still, still.
70 quid. If Xavi took care of his stuff, 70 quid is nothing for me to spend. I'm happy to do it.
No, because as you said, I mean, quality can be sometimes better. Just to buy that little, notch up, and then they will last longer for sure. As you mentioned with the sneakers, like or training, whatever. If it's a good Adidas or Puma. Do you say Puma or
Puma? Yeah.
Puma, yeah.
To be honest, I'm a big Puma fan, by the way, but continue.
Me as well. I gotta tell. Maybe we talked about this. This is a bit of a sidetrack. When I was playing football, as I said, I played quite many years. My feet are a bit broad. They aren't like thin like that. They're broad. So I could never really do well with Adidas shoes. It never really worked for me. So Puma was my first choice. And then Nike, I mean, this is so many years ago, but Nike got into the sport as well when it comes to also football. So then I started to play towards the end of my career as football player. I also played with Nike. So yeah, there you go.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. Yeah, but okay, so but it's done. It's like two pair of shoes, obviously, for different reasons. No.
So he has one nice pair of shoes I bought him, an Adidas. I bought him
exactly. That's what I meant.
Like about a month ago, and then he's got these clocks, these expensive clocks.
Aha. Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah, you bought the other ones a month ago. Got it.
Yeah, about a month ago. So and those were 60. So I paid 60 for those, right? Because I wasn't willing to have my son go out there wearing Shacks because that'd be shameful.
Yeah.
So I got him those for 60, and I got him the what do you call it? The
clocks.
The clocks, yeah. My brain's just not thinking. I was so annoyed.
No, it's fine.
In the shop, he tried talking to me. I was like, "Do not talk to me." I was just so annoyed. I was like, I am not in the mood to chat with you right now. I was just like, look, just pick something. Let me see it. I checked it out. I was like, okay, cool. I just asked the lady, how much was it? Cool. Okay. Tapped, paid, just walked to the shop. I was like, just do not talk to me.
Done. Let's go. Yeah.
I was so irritated because to me, it's just like, if I'm buying him shoes, he has it, and for school, I'm not buying him not anything nice, but again, this is not the first time we bought Xavi's shoes, and not the first time we bought him expensive shoes. Every time has been the same, but my missus seems to think it's going to be different this time.
Fingers crossed, it's actually a different moment this time around. I hope he's learned a lesson somewhat when it comes to the shoes, at least. I mean,
You would hope so.
You would hope so, for sure. Yeah, that's, sometimes that's all we have, living on the hope of things.
All you can do is hope right now. So yeah, essentially.
Well, the story might continue. We'll talk about the shoes again, maybe in a week or a few days from now. See what happens. In a
week, I'm probably gonna be like, so the shoes are gone.
No, we have to believe that it's gonna be more than a week.
Yeah, we'll see.
But bro, it is what it is.
So the other thing that I want to talk about, because usually I would basically talk about this sort of stuff with Raj, before the podcast and stuff like that. But I did promise you guys that within a month I will tell you guys about work. And it's been a month at the end of the month, and I am here to tell you guys about work. So I'm gonna be open and honest and share with you guys who listen and long running listeners of the podcast and enjoy the show, that kind of blah blah bleeps. I started working at a company in the UK called Platinum Services. It's a company. Now I'm gonna disclose as much as I can because obviously there's like NDAs and all that kind of crap. But anyway, so Platinum Services is a company that it's a really cool company actually to be quite frank. The company does is it helps students who want to get into university with their qualifications. So instead of sorry, not with the qualifications, with their experience. So essentially you don't have to have any qualifications, no you don't need any sort of like degree or anything like that or SEs or anything. Once you're a UK citizen or a resident of the country, you can apply essentially. Obviously there's some criterias when it comes to residency and stuff like that. I mean, you just came into the country, you won't qualify. Been in the country for a certain period of time, you know. And essentially, what the company does is it doesn't charge the people who apply with the company, so you don't pay anything to then go through the process of getting into uni.
Yeah, right.
And that means that the student doesn't pay us anything as a company, and they don't pay for the university anything. What they do is they get student finances. As a UK citizen, you qualify for student finance. And what student finance is essentially it's I guess you can say it's a loan from the government to help you go to university. And with student finance you can basically it covers everything, and you only have to pay it back once you're making over a threshold. So once you're making more than a specific amount, then you start paying it back in small portions like 6% or 9%.
Okay.
I think this threshold you have to be making over is 25. It was 29 or around 27, somewhere around there, 27,000. But I think now it's 25 because something happened in work today and I found out it was 25. Rules changed or something, whatever. But anyway, and that depends as well on I guess how long you're doing your degree for. Right, like how long is your degree and all that kind of stuff will affect aspects like that and so forth. So with the company, I also we have two sort of like companies, so like sister companies basically. My role as marketing manager is I handle marketing for both branches of the company. So there's one company that's Platinum and the other one is Study Now. Both companies are connected, like sister companies. They operate separate from each other, but the marketing side of things, the management of the marketing, that falls on both sides. And generally speaking, I've been in the company for 3 months. I had a 3 months probation, and on Friday last I had a review for my probation. Unfortunately I was told I did not pass probation. So I was told that I was told a lot of nice things but at the same time, I was informed that I did have a few slip-ups during the month, which I did have a few slip-ups. But despite all the good things that I do, they still need to see another month of my to see what can happen. Now, granted, my situation as it is right now is, my missus is away due to taking care of her grandmother due to cancer. And I've got a whole family to run as well as this department, and at the same time the marketing team is being built out. It's not complete. We still need a few more people in there. So there's a lot of roles that I'm taking on in marketing outside of just management. So yeah, I've had a few slip ups, but every slip up I've had I've sorted out efficiently. I take responsibility for whatever I do. So if I have a slip up or I make a mistake or I mess up somewhere, I take the responsibility for my responsibility. I deal with it. But anyway, point is, I was told I have another month of probation. Did not make me happy. Added to my stress load, but hey, it is what it is. That's kind of what I guess adult life is. Shit just doesn't go according to plan a lot of the times, and just kind of have to roll with the punches, essentially. And that's kind of what I did. So essentially, the sound is run away at times. Sorry, what do you mean the sound is run away at times?
Yeah, that's why. Hi, by the way, Miss A. Hope you're fine over there. Still in New York. Yeah, that's why I was asking if anyone else has experienced that when Q was talking, if the sound is coming and going or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me know if what's going on with the sound. And
Yeah.
yeah, welcome everyone else to the podcast, and make sure to leave a like.
It's like
Um,
suppressing the noise, Chris says.
like noise suppression, really. Let me see if I raise this a little bit more. Is that better? Can you guys tell me if that is better? Because on my end, it looks fine on my end, but I'm not sure if my mic has maybe a preset setting in there that's doing noise suppression for it. Tell me if
Yeah,
that's.
do you have any filters in OBS Studio or something if the sound is going through there?
I do have some to sort of like prevent it from going too loud.
Yeah,
So
it could be the threshold or noise gate, something like that. That is.
I've got the same for you as well, though.
Aha, okay.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
basically
we're going through the same channel.
it
like
does it's
both.
the same settings for both of us essentially. So
Aha.
so that if either of us like go really loud, it's not gonna like break the listeners'
Okay,
ears essentially.
Gotta
but
be
yeah.
a bit closer than to the mic. Okay, well, let me fill in there. Okay, yeah, the noise dims out when you're further. Yeah, probably that's the thing. Well, what can I say about this? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but also it seems as if you have a second shot. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, so I'm working out the till the end of this month is when they will, I guess, review me again and then make a
yes,
decision on whether or not they want to retain my services.
right. Okay. How do you feel about it? What is was it a good conversation? Like, was it how's your feel
No, there's
about it?
the logical thing to do and the sort of like emotional side of things. So from an emotional perspective, it did not feel good, obviously.
No, exactly. I
And
can understand that.
on that exactly, I was dealing with a lot on that day, personal stuff at home, and then there was just the side of work, essentially. And at the same time, I was informed I was going to have the review the morning of the review, so that kind of really had me stressed out the whole morning, just thinking about like what is going to be the result of this. In the end, the result is what it is. For me personally, like with anything that I do, I try to do the best I can. So for the rest of this month, I'm going to be putting in the best effort I can with regards to the work. But at the same time, I have to be realistic. If at the end of the month they're not happy with my services, obviously I'm going to have make preparations for that as well. So so at the same time, I am back into the job market looking at what other options are out there for me. I mean, I've got good qualifications, I've got good experience, so I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just looking at making sure I shore my bets up. So if at the end of the month they're like, hey, you know what, we're happy with you and we want you to stay, and we we'll support you in what you need to be successful in the role, great. If not, and they say, hey, you know what, Q, not working, thanks for your services, but yeah, at least I'm not out on my butt with nothing, because
exactly.
At the same time, I've got a family and I've got responsibilities at the same time. If it's just me, it's easy to just say, hey, whatever happens. But, when you have a family and all that kind of stuff, it does mean that you have other people that rely on you, and you have to make certain decisions that impact them. So at the same time,
True.
I I guess you can say at the same time I'm gonna do the best I can with the role, but at the same time I am preparing for plan B just in case. So
yeah.
So that's
I think you have a good attitude about it. Because that's, I mean, you can just do as much as you can, right?
Yes,
that's what we can do. And when we feel, it's like when I don't know why I get into sports all the time, but it's that when you well, let's say you lose a eFootball game.
Yeah.
If you feel that you played really crappy and didn't really pay attention, well, then it doesn't feel that great, right?
Yeah.
But if you feel that you did what you could, but you did lose against another opponent that played really well, whatever, but you at least reach you feel satisfied with what you have been doing, then that's what it is, and that's life. It is like that. I mean, I also when I started to upload music, for example, on these music libraries, I got rejections. And there was quite a few of them, and at first I took it, you take it a bit personal, because it's like the music you made, it's like your little baby that you're putting up there. But at the same time, I learned, and I knew that that's a part of the industry. It works like that, and you just have to. It doesn't mean that you aren't good at what you're doing. It just means that for this purpose, this library, this what they are maybe not looking for exactly what you are doing or what you're best at.
Yeah,
it's a question of fit on many levels. So. Well, of course, I will keep my thumb, and hopefully it's going to be exactly what you said first, that you continue and all that beautiful stuff. But at the same time, I'm also impressed because if you think about it, when you got like the papers ready to stay in the UK and everything, you did a great and fast finish. Like boom, you got a job like that. That's impressive to start with. I mean, you have to think about that as well, and it's the first time for you now in the UK. You actually are getting into the job market. How, and I mean, it doesn't really matter the outcome right now of this, but you did it so like boom.
At the end of the day, I take it.
So that's positive. You can take that with you, whatever happens at the end of this upcoming month. So
I think with everything, it's all experience. And by the way, hi Karen, and welcome everyone into the chat. If you're enjoying the podcast, please give us a like and share it with someone. We need more people to enjoy this beautiful show. So feel free to like. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, and notification, all that kind of stuff. Hit the notification bell so you can know when we go live for each episode. We try to do the podcast on Wednesdays. If something comes up, we go for Tuesday like today. But yeah, generally speaking, give us a like. Share the podcast, and subscribe so you know when we're going live next week. It's weekly, so you won't miss it out and all that kind of stuff. Just to give you guys, for those who are new here, if you are new, I don't know if anyone's new here, but I'm going to just say it now. If you want to know about the format of the show, at the beginning of the show, we tend to talk about our lives, our families, the stuff that we're doing. Then we talk about some gaming, and then we jump into some film. Sometimes we switch it up with the film and the gaming. Sometimes we do film first, gaming after, but that's kind of the structure. So we each share something that we're watching. We each share something that we're playing. For the past couple of weeks, I've been playing eFootball. So those of you who like eFootball, you're gonna hear me talk about that. Rog is probably gonna talk about something new every week because he's always playing something new, which is awesome. And then we share a bit about what films or TV series we're watching. So that's just the breakdown for those who are maybe new in here. Again, if you enjoy what you're listening to, like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, Rog, you are right, and I am, if anything, I'm resilient, and in life, whether good or bad, I take from the experience that I get, and I try to improve myself.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
So that's all you can do at the end of the day when it comes to the stuff like that. But yeah, so that's mainly been a bit of my week. It's been dealing with that, stuff at home. The weather, I just want to say the weather is amazing. You guys can't see because of the light. The way my camera,
the sun is going straight into the room, filling it with.
I think it's because of how the glass reflects it or something. I think.
Yeah, right.
I think maybe you can kind of see my neighbors across there from underneath there. But anyway, the lighting is kind of weird, and that's kind of why you can't really see what's going on out there at the moment. But it's been warm. 22 degrees at the moment, and I'm just saying, shout out to the warm days, because me and my brother-in-law Eric, we went to this cafe in town, was it yesterday, and it was absolutely amazing. I can't remember the name of the cafe, sorry for that, but it was so good. And we just yes, the good news is I went to a nice cafe and the weather is warm. It's really nice. I mean, I'm wearing loose clothes. I'm wearing thin t-shirts. I've got shorts on, my legs out, So it's the weather is absolutely amazing. On Sunday, I'm going to do a run on Sunday with my brother, which is going to be so cool. I'm so excited to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going running. Actually, it's the run I did last time with my missus.
It's the last time. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, Marlo. Look at that. Okay.
It's a 5-mile run.
It's time again. Time flies, by the way. Yeah.
I'm so ready for this. Oh, and you know what? Here's the coolest part. Let me show you guys this.
Look at that.
So, because I knew I was gonna do Marla this weekend, I bought myself new running clothes. So I've got this running this nice running vest. And
That's a good looking one. Good
I've
color
got
on you.
I've got these shorts to go with it. So
Yep, yep.
essentially, when I go running, I just picked them up today actually while I was in town. And so I'm excited. They're gonna get washed. They're gonna be ready for Sunday, and I'm just gonna get out there. Oh, I have not been training, so I am kind of like, oh, there's a side of me that's kind of like nervous.
Yeah.
But there's a side of me that's like, look, we're men. We can do this. You know?
You are on your bike on a regular basis. That counts actually, even though, but be careful. Don't like push too hard from the start. So you get into it and feel, oh, how do I respond when I'm running like this? Otherwise, because I think but it sounds great that you're doing that again. That's really nice.
I'm so excited.
Of course.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Whew. I'm all hyped. I wanted to take Xavi with me, but he's got to bust it up too. He can't go anywhere. He's gonna be home.
But it can also be nice to do it with. Who are you doing it with? With
Lex, my older brother. So
Lex, exactly.
I mean,
that's a cool thing too. Do it with your bro, like that. It's
It's gonna be so cool.
Do it.
It's gonna be so cool. The only thing I was thinking if I took Xavi though is I'm gonna have to I was kind of in between thoughts. Do I run with a pace to stay with Xavi? Because I know Xavi can do it. Like I know he can do a 5 mile.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
The only problem is Xavi's not as quick as me. So if he did a 5 mile, because when I go running with Xavi, he can do the whole thing, but I have to slow myself down to stay with him. And I just think to myself, if I'm gonna do a 5 mile, do I want to do it at Xavi's pace or do I want to do it at my pace and just finish it in a reasonable amount of time? So this time around, I'm gonna do it at my pace, since Xavi's not going with me, and I'm so excited to just I want to see if I beat my time from last year, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. But
fun. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Rog, that's my week.
Yeah.
First things first. How was the arm? Number 1, and then 2. Tell me about what's going to be going on in Sweden.
Oh yeah, well, my left arm is still attached to my body. I'm thankful for that. It's still here. I haven't gone robotic or become a cyborg yet. Maybe you'll see me cyborging in the future. We'll see. Nah, jokes aside, it's. I think I've said it before. It's been at least I said it to a friend just the other day. For those of you that don't know, I'm a bit hindered, you might say, by an injury that I have in my left elbow and forearm. And it's been it's pretty weird because it comes and goes. Some days are pretty nice, and then the same evening it can become worse. It depends a bit also on what I'm doing. The thing is that I haven't been playing music yet. And today, just 1.5 hours ago, I did sit down by my E-kit, my electronic drum kit, just to play a bit, because I haven't really played since the concert we had in the beginning of March when this started to happen. Unfortunately, it didn't feel so good, which was a bit as I said to Anneli, that was a bit depressing actually. On the other hand, it depends on 2 things. It depends, first off, that I don't really have a diagnosis. I don't really know yet. I said I will go to this neurologist, nerves, hello, on the 14th. That's going to be checked. And so it's a bit slow. I want to move on faster, but I can't really. But the good thing is my overall condition, if I put it like that, since we talked about good and bad news, and I want to bring some good news as well, also in the chat here, is that I am slowly getting better, have more, I can also feel it. I mean, I do work out now, even though it's very much rehab training, and I just have to mentally put things into different kind of position and aspect, since I've been used to work out really intense and sometimes with heavy weights and everything, but now I'm going light and I'm avoiding certain exercises. I need to do that. It's just a part of the thing,
Yes.
So I guess that's good stuff, that's actually good stuff. But again, I was a bit worried. I mean, again, I haven't been playing, and I'm doing this like a drummer since almost 2 months back now, and I have to have the same mental approach with that kind of thing as I have with training. That's also what the physiotherapist said. He said, you have to start just a bit slow and see what happens, and then take it from there and listen to your body, or your arm in this case. But I also look forward to do this examination and also hopefully follow up with another X-ray, maybe just to it would feel good to just know exactly what we're dealing with, because it's also easier than to adjust my how do you say my day-to-day life, but also maybe my workout schedule, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But working out is good. I mean, I have to use my arms and everything, but I have to do it in a smart way.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, I've been doing like I've been working out for so many years. I have a lot of know-how, but I also need to hear from someone, in this case the physiotherapist, that yes and no, yes to this but no to that, so I can relate to that and don't just try too many things at the same time, basically. So that's how it is. But but
anything else?
anywho, yeah, of course. I was thinking about the week. Yes, sports are close at hand. I got into sports earlier here. My hometown hockey team won the Swedish, the league, the national hockey league here in Sweden. I was really happy, even though, as I said, I'm not that engaged any longer, not when it comes to hockey or football or anything. But at the same time, when I sit down, and I mean, I grew up with this team, went to the hockey matches with my dad and also my sister sometime, my older sister, and it felt good. It was best out of 7.
Yeah.
And they won with 4-1 in matches. So it was quite clear that they were the better team. Even though they only won with like 1-0 in the last game, which was also good. It was at home in the small town of Skellefteå up in the north, where I originally come from. So that was cool. That's always like, yay, woo. And it's been good weather here, not now, but it's been like the weekend before it was pretty. We've also had like this summer temperature, like 21, 22 degrees, and it's been really nice. I hope that comes back soon, because right now it's been, what did I say, 7, 8? Something like that. And
it's probably going to be like that next week for us.
Yeah, it comes and goes still. Even though it's like the 9th of May, it's a bit cold for that season or period of time. But, I hope it's going to change soon. But other than that, it's been, we met up with, I've met my oldest son as well. As you guys may know, he has his own apartment now. I mean, the guy is 27 years old.
He's a man.
He's a manly man. Actually, it was a fun thing. It was a fun thing talking about training, working out. I've said that I've been working out with both my sons. I still work out with Isaac a bit since he lives at home. But right now he's on his own training regimen, like his own schedule, because since I'm training different now when I'm at the gym, but we might be there at the same time. However, when also my oldest son grew up or became like 16, 15, 16, whatever have you, and onwards, I went with him. He followed me to the gym, and I learned him. I was on him, teaching him how to work out, or what I believe is sufficient and good and whatever have you. And he has been continuing, and now he's 27, and he's starting to become quite buff, actually. And it's quite kind of funny, because today, this afternoon, my wife went into the town. She visited a museum, and then she hooked up with Adam at a market. It's like it's been big place with a lot of stores. But even so, she was helping him with finding trousers, because now he has also quite big legs, like the quads are quite big, so he has to find something that suits him, but aren't like big in at the waistline. It's a bit tricky. But it was funny, because she overheard the conversation between the two people working in the store. It was one guy and one girl, and the guy, he was quite thin, and he said, "Oh, I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to work out and put on some muscles." "Well, maybe you need to eat more and blah blah blah," she said. And then Adam comes out. He had put on the trousers, and he had only a tank top.
Does he still have the long hair?
Looked at him. Yeah, the guy looked at him, at Adam, and then he just went away. And Annelie, my wife, was just standing there. And the girl, she was like, "Oh yeah." I wasn't there, unfortunately, but Adam didn't. He doesn't really notice those kind of things that much. But Annalie told him later over coffee, well, you should have seen the reactions. Dude, isn't that a bit funny? No, I'm
That is
happy.
funny.
I'm proud of my sons. They're great people, both of them. They are really, really nice people.
Manliness.
And
very manly.
Manliness as well. But I just wanted to share that little story because it was a bit funny when they were. And then Adam came out. It was just the circumstances where it was a bit weird. But other than that, when it comes to me, yeah, I mean, I've been going on. I made a 20K subscribers video. I reached that number a week ago or something like that. Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So that was the thing I did, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, my mental health is pretty stable as it should be. But again, as I said, being injured like this, it's quite taxing. At least I'm not as I was a few weeks ago. So again, I'm taking that as a improvement and everything, and looking forward to also bring out my shorts and stuff. I haven't been doing that yet. I'm quite a slow when it comes to those kind of things. I want to have like summer before I actually put on only a t-shirt and shorts, especially shorts. But we'll see. So it's been a good week. Yeah, thank you, Miss A&R. Appreciate it. No, that's great. So what else to say? No, I think we can move on because it's also been. I'm happy that I've found this series, and we're getting to that soon. That I've been also watching with my wife. We're still doing that. We're getting to that soon. Because otherwise we tend to have different things that we like to watch. I think you mentioned that too between you and your missus, that sometimes it might be different genres that you might prefer when it comes to movie or TV series or something. But
yeah,
what do I know?
I mean,
to
be frank, what I'm doing right now as we speak, I am doing something movie related, but I'm basically so I found there's something that I didn't know about. I just found it while I was trying to remember what I watched this week.
Okay.
And apparently what you can do is block shows on Netflix. Like there's a way to sort of like basically select shows that you don't want to come up on, like restrict them basically.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so you can restrict specific shows apparently. I don't know if there's a minimum because I'm trying to restrict a show right now and it's not letting me. Like when I click it, it doesn't add to my restricted list. I think there's a limited amount, or maybe sorry, there was an error.
Yeah, it could be something like that.
Maybe it is. Maybe. But
you have been watching Baby Reindeer, your missus. I see. I know what that is. I actually know what that is. Yeah.
I know about it as well. I haven't watched it myself. I've been hearing about it in the news a lot. But I myself haven't been watching it. It's not my cup of tea. That's something Alex would watch. That's not something that I would I would usually watch. But I will say I've been watching 2 shows. I guess we should just jump into Tele, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Go. That was the meaning.
So those of you waiting for the gaming conversation is coming at the end. Hope you don't mind. But yeah, so I've been watching 2 shows. One is The Job Lot, which my sister introduced me to, which is absolutely amazing. It's like it's basically it's like Cloud9 or The Office. It's that kind of comedy, sort of like, live kind of shaky camera sort of series.
Yeah.
It's good. It's English as well, and the storyline of it, the show is basically about it's basically like where people go who can't find employment. So like the job losses was a place in the UK, different places in the UK where you can basically go in and they will help you find a job. That's their whole thing. And you just sort of follow this sort of like ragtag group of like people who work there, and some people who frequently come to the job lot, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like there's one guy, his character's name is Graham, and Graham is basically a guy who's always in the job lot, but he seems to like suffer from a lot of things, he's sort of like this sort of like mysterious, weird, sort of like crazy person mixed with like, lovable teddy bear kind of thing. And
okay,
he's one of my favorite characters. He's played by Tony Mordasley, I think. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's hilarious. And then of course you have a few others like Sarah Hadland, who plays Trish. She's like the boss lady in the job lot. You know, she's hilarious. And then you have Russell Tovey, who plays the young man who's like the Carl. His character's name is Carl, and he's like the young character who's new working there and all that kind of stuff. Or he's been working there for a while, and he kind of fancies someone in the office and all that kind of levelers. But either way, the point is the job lot is hilarious. There's a lot of great characters on there. Those of you who are fans of, who've seen it before and fans of George, shout out to my boy George. Crazy as hell. Love him. One of the guys is a cyclist. So that made me very happy. He's one of the security guards. So I was really happy when I saw him as a cyclist. I was like, look at him. Majestic. You know, as a fellow cyclist, of course. We fellow cyclists.
Of course. Yeah.
We just appreciate each other for our great cyclishness. So the job lot, really good. It is a 7.1 on IMDb. I, of course, will be giving it a 10. The job lot is that good. It is hilarious.
Yeah, but I can imagine I'm just looking at it on IMDb. I mean, when these kind of series or especially from like day-to-day life and following people like this, the Brits are usually very good at doing this, and it's usually very funny, quality funny, whatever that is. It depends on you, but I can also see that this is from 2013 to 2015.
Yes.
So I was thinking, because it's interesting that it is about people working at a job center. I mean, we have quite a few similarities between, which is not like, I'm not surprised when it comes to the UK and also Sweden. I was thinking, because we also have those kind of job centers. I think that the role those or the importance of those has diminished over the years, but it was a big thing like maybe 10-15 years ago. Now it works a bit different. It's still there. It's got a bit of criticism still, because they haven't really been, how do you say, catching up, if you will. But it's interesting that it's also a thing in the UK. I guess it's still around. Do you know that? Like,
I think they are. I think I heard some of my colleagues talking about it. So it did sort of like key me in on like, oh, okay, so this does actually still happen here in the UK. And shout out to Nalu. Welcome to the chat, buddy.
Hello, Nalu.
But yeah, they still do exist in the UK. So it's actually quite interesting. You know, because I'm living in a region where some of that, you know, like some of the stuff that's going on in the show is sort of like, you know, common. It's like,
yeah, but I can understand. I mean, I can see myself watching something like this. As I said, I've watched other British comedy series that I've just really liked. So especially also, that it's a good setup. I kind of like that. It sounds good on the paper for sure.
It is good. It's good. The other one is something that you might also watch. And this is called Run for the Money. Started in 2022.
Okay.
It is from what I understand, I believe it's Japanese. It could be Korean, but I think it's Japanese. My understanding of Japanese and Korean, the differences between their language is not very clear, especially because of the fact that I watched this with English dub, so they had like a dub over the home language, the original language. But we tried researching it when we were watching, and I think what we came up with was that it was Japanese, from what we understood. But anyway,
because it might be a mix. I see both Japanese names and something that for me sounds more like Chinese or Korean. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
That is true. That is true. We had some names like Honda that's Korean, if I'm correct. You know, but you know, something like
Choi Min-hoo. That's Korean. That's not Japanese.
That's like a Korean name. And then you have you know, Toshiki.
But Hayato Sano. That's more Japanese.
That's more Japanese. Yeah. There's like a Seto Toshiki. That's also Japanese. And so we're not sure.
Nakoyabuki. That sounds Japanese. We can go ahead.
Maybe it's a mix of the two. But
whatever.
All of these people are celebrities, to be frank. And
okay.
So they're all contestants, and they basically are competing to win a prize, right? And the prize is basically it goes up every second. So as they're doing the stuff, the prize goes up every second. And basically what they're supposed to do is like survive as long as possible to win the prize, right? In the competition. And what they have is basically tag. So you have all these guys and ladies dressed in black, and they're like in suits, and they chase the contestants around. So when the competition starts, I think it started with 26 people chasing them, and then they had to complete a task. So every now and then they get a message on their phone and it tells them to complete this task. And if they complete the task, it eliminates some of the people that chasing them, and then it drops down to like maybe like 5 or 4, a small amount. And then as the competition goes on, certain things that happen, certain criteria, they have to complete certain tasks. Some of the tasks are to work together. Sometimes they have them turn on each other. It's really quite interesting, to be honest. Like really, really quite interesting and intriguing. So Run for the Money, we've watched one season of it. It is absolutely addictively interesting. Ty loves it. He watched pretty much all season 1 except the last episode because he got sent to bed because it was late. But he's seen pretty much everything, and we're all sitting there like, oh my god, he's gonna get caught. Why is he doing that? That is so it's one of those shows where you sit down there and you're just watching it, At the end of it,
it's cool. It's cool, right? They have pretty ambitious shows like this.
Yes.
Because we've talked about I've talked about like Physical 100, which is like 100 athletes with different background. Maybe police, maybe a firefighter, maybe a bodybuilder, maybe a wrestler, maybe a swimmer. And kind of the same thing, but physical stuff that they do. And it can be, as you say, they group up as team, or it's sometimes just individual, like free for all, you might say. So I kind of like that. It's very ambitious. I can imagine this is also like reality ambitious kind of things going on here, but it's cool. I think they come up with really interesting concepts. And I say I'm talking about the Asians, especially than South Korea. This is probably a co-op kind of thing.
It probably is.
The names, but
wow. It probably is.
How much have you watched? Like
we finished the season. We've done it. Like it's
okay. Yeah, you said it.
It's one of those shows that the more you watch, like you can't stop. So like by the time you're just like, okay, and it leaves every episode ends on a cliffhanger. So you're like, God damn it, I need to know what happens next.
Oh yeah, you know those ones. Yeah.
So
and then you start to check the time. Just one more, or maybe we just watch like 15 minutes and then we stop.
Yep, that's the thing. That's the thing. We end up watching it all. There. We watched it all. Especially we had a long weekend. We had like a bank holiday here, so we did get to some extra time to watch it. Nalu, I'm not sure what you're asking me. The question about if I watched that anime that you recommended, you need to like remind me what that anime is called, so I'll know if I have to tell you yes or no. You can. Yeah. So yeah, generally speaking, that's my Tele watching.
Good combo of
I'm telling you
choices there, or what you have been watching, I think. Okay, well, I can. Yeah,
I didn't give a rating for Run for the Money, so let me give that now. 7.2 in IMDb. I give it an 8. It's decent.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
The floor is yours now.
Yeah, the floor. I'm dancing all over the floor. Let's do it. I just wanted to fill in with something I just mentioned before when it comes to me watching something with my wife, which I'm happy to do. It sounds like it's very rare. It actually is nowadays. But anywho, we have continued to watch the Yellowstone series that I've talked about with Kevin Costner. It's from 2018. It's on Netflix. And it's a good one. This is good. It's a lot of intrigues. A quite dysfunctional family. Oh my God, there's so many weird shit happening. We are closer to the end. I think it's 3 seasons. And what? Season 4? Okay, then we are like 3/4 in, maybe something like that. We enjoy. We like it.
We enjoy.
We enjoy. We like it. You don't have to say much more. It has an 8.7 on IMDb. Close up to 9. It's definitely around a 9. It's a very solid series, with everything when it comes to production and of course acting and stuff like that. This one person I just want to mention, I mean, Kevin Costner is of course one of the main characters. Apparently he's the father of this family that is fighting for the existence of his ranch that has gone been in the family for generations, decades, or hundreds of years actually. But there's one person that has to be mentioned an extra. That's Kelly Rayleigh is her name, and she plays the daughter, Beth Dutton, and she is like, I don't have to put like a femme fatale, but also very poisonous. Like she can destroy anyone, any man. She has language, she has the words for it. She can do anything. It's a bit sad though, because it's a trauma behind her behavior as well. I'm not going to spoil and say why, but it has to do with something that happened in her childhood on the ranch. But it's like, yeah. But even so, good series. That's just one out of the two. My main thing here that I wanted to talk about is, of course, Godzilla.
Oof.
-1. This is back to the roots of the Godzilla series or franchise, you might say. There's been so many movies being done. It's back to Japan, back to in the hands of the Japanese, and this is really good. I really liked it. The original title is Gojira 1.0. I'm not going to say Ichi. I don't know what zero is. It doesn't matter. So it's post-war Japan. It's kind of cool setting. It's post-war Japan, and it's like the lowest point when people are really. It's like trash. People are really, trying to find their things in the wreck of their homes and everything. Is like really bad. And of course, there's a new crisis that emerges in form of this giant monster, and I think we know who that is, because it's like baptized in the power of the atomic bomb. That's the thing. They need it together like that. So now this is good. I really liked it. I think it's back where it belongs in Japan again, and I recommend it. It has 8.1 on IMDb. It's definitely up there. I can go to 8.5 definitely, no problem. And if you like these kind of movies, I can highly recommend Godzilla -1.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Noted. I mean, I've not really watched a lot of Godzilla movies in the past, but due to your quite enthusiastic sort of recommendation, I may actually take a listen to it. Sorry, I should say a watch of it.
I think you can. I do think you would appreciate the movie. I also just want to fill in that your missus has very good taste. Of course, I see.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she definitely has. She has been
Except
watching Yellowstone. It's a brilliant. Well, yeah, sure, why not? Husband of dreams. The Yellowstone is brilliant. Love Beth. Yes, there you go. Thumbs up to you. I wanted to hear that. Yeah, talking about also now they're talking about Dragon Raya, Chinese anime.
Is that
maybe have you watched that, Q? Do you know what that is?
So Nalu asked me if I've seen Archdemon Dilemma, How to Raise an Elf Bride. That's one. I have not watched it yet. It is on my watch list, but I have yet to watch it. So no, Nalu, I haven't gotten around to it yet, unfortunately. But I'll probably watch it this week because I've finished up a lot of stuff that I was watching in the week. And then there's Dragon Raja is a Chinese anime that's pretty good. I haven't heard of that before. This is the first time I'm hearing of this one. It sounds interesting. I'm looking at it. This looks like from when I search it, actually like a mobile game comes up. So now if you got a proper link to this, send me the link. Maybe to Crunchyroll or some kind of streaming platform. Put it in Discord. I'll check it out. From there, those of you who may want to jump into our Discord, there should be a link somewhere on here, on the channel, on the description of the podcast may have a link to our Discord, so you can pop in and join the conversation. Let's talk about some video games. Yeah,
let's go. Let's go.
Let's talk about them video games.
Let's hear what you have been playing, sir.
So I have been playing eFootball, and just like I said, like remember when I was saying like eFootball seems like they've made the game worse since the update
last week.
Yeah. Well, apparently I was not the only one, because a lot of other peoples out there were like saying the same thing, and the top eFootball YouTubers have been saying the same thing.
Now look at that; it correlates.
They were listening. They were like, "Listen to me, Leveler. That Band of Dreams Q was right."
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
They heard the podcast, and they were like, oh, maybe he has a point. It felt a bit awkward and backwards, yeah.
Just saying, maybe I was right.
Yeah.
Point is, a lot of people
influencer you, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All they all must follow me or something, because no one was chatting shit until I started chatting shit. But anyway, point is, I was chatting shit long before. So
someone has to start it. The hype train, it's
exactly, like, pretty much.
Fire started.
The game's kind of like everyone. It got to the point where one of the top eFootball YouTubers, his channel is called Spoony Pizzas. He's been covering PES a long while when it was still called PES and or Pro Evolution Soccer, and now he covers eFootball. And he's one of those very dedicated guys to the series, and he makes a lot of video content on it. He's very well informed and is really skilled at the game, so he does like a lot of tutorials and stuff like that. And he basically started this thing where he said, look, let's boycott the game this Friday because this is unacceptable. Like the game has been out for a while. A lot of us have been supporting it even throughout all that Konami has done. And yet they still haven't. This is the kind of the quality that the game is in at this point in time, whereby the gameplay is just not there. There's a lot of bugs, a lot of things are not working as it should work. It's not fun to play the game, which is what a lot of people are saying, and that's what I've been experiencing, is that the more as I'm playing, I'm not enjoying the game, and I think the only way I would be able to sort of like be competitive again to an extent is to change my playstyle completely, and I don't want to have to change my playstyle. I think I should adjust on the fly, but I generally have a very good playstyle, and one of the things that he highlighted the most, which is something that I was feeling was the case, but it was good to hear someone else, who knows a lot about the game say something, which was that it seems like everyone who, like all these sort of like legendary players and stuff that they put in the game, like they have like there's this sort of like player AI built into them where they're just that good, and the players that you had before that were decent are pretty crap, and these legend players, their AI will put them into position to block shots that passes and shots that otherwise would probably, if you take your time and you work it out, you should get the pass through. And then there's just lag. The servers are pretty trash. There's a lot of,
as well on top of okay.
There's a lot of lag, latency when it comes to when you press the button and when it actually processes that button input. So having the game be like that, it's when it comes to these online live service games, this is the kind of territory that you run into when you have games like this, is that you do run into these sort of problems. And I think I try to stay away from games like these, but unfortunately, I'm a big football fan. I've always been I've been a PES fan for the longest while.
Yeah.
And so it hurts me because the alternative is to go and play FIFA, and I think FIFA is worse. And so I'm just hoping maybe some other developer out there starts making a football game, because if they do make a very decent football game, I'm dropping eFootball with the quickness. Like I'll drop it if I can get my hands on something, because I do need my football game fix every now and then. Yeah, so if eFootball, if Konami does not want to improve the game, because again, it's all about these updates. So it's like the game, they'll make the game and things will be working fine. And I think a game like eFootball should be skill based. I think it should be very skill based, and there shouldn't be this sort of pay to win thing where you buy a special legend and they just instantly make your team a lot better. Even if you're pretty trash at the game or whatever have you and so forth. I'm not saying the people that played are trash. A lot of people that played are pretty decent at the game, but at the same time, it's just you play some matches and it's just like, wow, this guy has all the legends. Because before in the past, I used to be able to come up against someone with a full legend team and me with a team that I built myself and compete with them. I could beat them, depending on my skill level, on their skill level. Now, it feels like as long as they have a legend team, the odds of me winning are diminished, because I have a tougher time.
It's just bullshit. It's I hate when we talked about this before. It's like the same. Yeah, when you have certain things behind like a paywall like that actually gives someone an advantage over others, then I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
And some people try to tone that down. I've had that discussion many times in the comment section, because they like to say, well, especially if they made some small changes, not being like straight up pay to win to your face, but then they say, oh, well, it's pay to progress, it's not that bad. Well, of course it's bad. It's still, because even though you can unlock certain things by playing, you have to spend a lot of time to grind that, and with a click using your credit card or your PayPal, whatever have you have that in your hand instantly. So how can that be fair? It's not. It's just not. When they tilt the game balance, so to say, like that, it's never fair.
Yeah.
We've said it before, and I've also said it in my kind of gaming territory when it comes to FPS gaming. I mean, it should just be cosmetics. That's what it is. It should be the same in these games. It could be cosmetics, new hairstyle, new watch on the wrist, whatever. but don't give players that. But it's a way also to, of course, they want to earn money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But it's really frustrating because, especially also as for you, when it's a game that you do like to play, or I mean, you're interested in the actual genre of the game and in many parts of the game itself, and then this happens, and it's like, what to do? Should I just suck it up and play it, or should I just wait, or you take a break? Or should I try to look for another game in the same genre, whatever have you? It's dumb.
It's unfortunate.
Dumb.
It is quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I see like Nalu's mentioning about Suicide Squad.
Exactly. Yeah, I was getting to that as well.
And that game also having such a poor player base in there after it not being a very good game. And I think hopefully, like I don't have high hopes, but hopefully this boycott that Spoonie and the eFootball community are doing, which is supposed to happen on Friday, I think everyone is just not going to log in on Friday and just leave Konami servers dead.
Yeah, I mean, I hope exactly. So they hopefully make changes accordingly.
Yes, definitely. Hopefully we'll see how it goes. I will be joining the boycott. I will not be logging in on Friday, even though Friday is usually when I guess you could say it's one of the most active days. It's the end of the week when people have time and they want to log online and play with their friends and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to log in on Friday. I'm going to finish work and I will be playing something else. So, or maybe I'll watch some anime or something.
Yeah.
But
or you can buy Alexander Isak from Newcastle. The Swedish player that is nice.
I actually
he's doing really well right now, by the way.
He has. He's
nominated to the youngest player of the year in Premier League right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. He's 24. He's been scoring like Alan Shearer, coming from Newcastle like years back. He has really been positive about his playing.
He needs to leave Newcastle though and come to Arsenal, and then I'll be able to appreciate.
People have been speculating. I've been watching comments. They've been saying, "Give us Alexander Isak, and we're complete. We're gonna win. We're gonna win Premier League."
Yes,
that's what the Arsenal fans have been saying. So
we just need a striker. We need a good striker who can score.
Oh, he has those qualities. You know, the guy that can sometimes just create a chance, even though it's not really, it's just a half chance or a small opportunity, but he takes it and he scores. That kind of guy, and they're quite rare actually. It's
they are.
They don't grow on trees. So,
they grow in Sweden.
Yeah, well, some of them apparently.
I mean, you have Zlatan and Isak, and they're very similar in some ways.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Yes, Zlatan praised him quite early on. I remember that. He talked. This guy will, he was like,
he'll be the next me. But
he didn't go that far.
Of course,
Zlatan is he's like, you know how he is.
There's
like,
only one Zlatan
talking about himself in third person or talking about himself as the lion. It's like
Zlatan is the best.
Yeah.
Man.
But it's interesting when we talk about game. I see also what Daniel or Nalu goes into when it comes to something that has related to games that I play. I mean, weird decisions sometimes by these gaming companies. I mean, you mentioned here Konami. It's not the first time, but and it's not the last time either. And that goes for Sony as well. They you might have heard maybe what happened when it comes to this Helldivers 2 game that I played and talked about, even though I even played Helldivers 1 more recently. But that they decided to you have to link your account, you have to have a PS account, and if you're gonna play this online, you gotta have that and stuff like that. And people got so mad and they were review bombing the poor Arrowhead Studios, even though they went out and say, no, it's good. Review bomb us. It's perfectly fine because we, as the developers, we do not agree upon this. Wow. So it was like, it was like that. And then just quite recently, Sony went back and said, okay, we're not going to do that.
Sony's just I saw the news on that myself, and Sony's just honestly, I'm not a big fan of Sony right now. I have.
What are they doing?
I've got a
Escape from
PS5.
Tarkov. It's
But
also been a shit show. I'm not getting into that either. It's like they promise something to people that already owned like the game and content, and then when they add new, they still have to get it, even though they were promised, like literally saying when they bought the game that they would have to. You can't do like that if you're a publisher or a developer. You can't do like that. Don't.
You can't trust Sony, honestly. You can't trust them. They're not good publishers. I don't think highly of Sony. I've been saying this. Those of you who've been listening to me, whether on HBMP or on here or other places on YouTube or wherever else I've spoken about it, I've been calling the PlayStation 5 the Sensor Station 5. Some of you may remember me saying that. And that's literally because ever since Sony became, they moved their head office to North America, they've just become trash when it comes to like, one, censorship, and two, with regards to the decisions that they're making as a company and how they're treating their long running fan base. It's sort of like they want to change their whole market, but by alienating the people who've already been supporting PlayStation for the longest while. PlayStation used to be a brand where it was made for mature people, the adults. It was like when you taught PlayStation, you taught grown adults play this, right? Now PlayStation is sort of like there's a sort of bias when it comes to some of the stuff that they greenlight and some of the stuff that they don't. It's not fair. It's not across the board when it comes to stuff like that. Like, for example, a game like The Last of Us 2 had a lot of, it had nudity and all these grotesque scenes and all that kind of stuff. But a game like Stellar Blade gets censored, where the character gets censored and stuff like that in there. The only way you can get Stellar Blade in uncensored format is if you buy a physical copy. And give me 1 sec. Let me just.
That's kind of interesting. You can buy a physical copy. It's not many people doing that nowadays. It can be nice to do it, but still, I mean, most people, they go digital. Like,
I tend to go digital. So this is my physical copy I picked up a little while ago, and this copy.
Nice to see that. Oh, you can hold it in your hand, you can read on it, and you can open it up, and it's like. It reminds me again we talked about also that when it comes to the music industry and the old LP and even CD, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Apparently,
you can read the booklet.
You could. No, definitely. That's kind of the way it used to be. Now it's just barely anything inside the case. But what I've found is so I've picked up a copy, and I wasn't planning to pick it up anytime, like a physical copy. I would have probably bought it digital, knowing me. Or I'd have waited for a PC port or something at some point later down the line. But I picked up this copy because, one, I do like the game that the developers were making. I do like the idea, the concept of what they were originally making. And they say in the industry, if you like something, support it. And if you don't like something, show your displeasure with your money. Don't buy stuff you don't like. And if you take Stellar Blade and you put it on your PlayStation, it will run uncensored. But the minute that you update the game from version, 1.000 whatever to 1.1 or 1.2, they're gonna censor it. Basically they'll censor a few things.
That's what happens. Okay.
So there's a bit of blood and gore in it. You don't see that. A few outfits have been changed to cover up some cleavage and all this sort of stuff. And again, this is a game that's, the rating for it is 18. This is not for kids. The rating if you look at the case, the rating is 18.
Who
are you protecting?
So why? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but isn't it a bit of a sign of times we're living in right now? It's kind of like
it's not because when you consider like The Last of Us or God of War, those games are not censored. Those games are quite grotesque. Kratos rips people's heads off, but that's okay. It's because it's God of War and
violence is perfectly fine, but nudity.
They've got nudity in The Last of Us as well. There's a full-on scene with Last of Us 2. But again, it's because it's done by a Western development team. And I think for them, there's this sort of notion, this mindset, at least that's where it seems like coming from the current heads of PlayStation, that any sort of adult content with Japanese-looking character or Asian-looking characters is all of a sudden child friendly, because I don't know if they look at Asian people and think that they all look like children or something. At least that's my assumption based on the fact of how they censor these games. Because with The Last of Us, you have gritty, mature, adult-looking characters. Most of them. Some of the characters are children. Atreus from God of War is a child, and
True.
Ellie in The Last of Us was a child in the first Last of Us, and the second one she's older now. She's I guess a young adult. But generally those games are fine to do the stuff that they do, but a game like Stellar Blade is not. It's the same for a lot of, you see a lot of the censorship that Sony sort of passes down happen to a lot of Japanese games. It happened with Devil May Cry 5. It happened with a few other Japanese titles that originally the developers made two versions, one version for PlayStation and one version for other platforms, including the Switch. The Switch had uncensored version of games that the PlayStation has censored. So keeping that in mind, me personally, I tend to not buy a lot of games on PlayStation. I tend to buy most of my games on other platforms. But in this case with Stellar Blade, it is published by PlayStation. So at some point it probably will come to PC. And when it does, which is probably like a year from now, I will pick it up on there and play it on there. Yeah, but I figured it would be a not just for like owning its thing, but I think also for like content creation and stuff like that, because I talk about a lot of games like this. I figured it would be a good idea to get Stellar Blade, the physical copy, and just sort of create some content based on that, because I have I've spoken to my missus about the fact that I do want to sort of like get back into content creation as soon as I have a bit more stability with regards to work and a bit more structure in that kind of space. But I'm kind of counting on her to sort of like help with that, which she has agreed to. So nothing yet done. It was just a conversation we had while I was having lunch one day. But generally the plan is to sort of get that ball rolling properly. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the gaming, man. Raj, did we?
Yeah, I gotta fill in. I'm gonna just say briefly because time flies as often. But it's nice when we also we needed to talk about these general aspects of the gaming scene as well, and what's happening. Like as you said, now the double standards and gaming politics or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give example of a game or a genre, example of a typical kind of thing that happens for a lot of smaller titles coming up on Steam, which I've seen a lot of times over the years. And I don't think it has to do so much with the actual genre. Of course, this is an FPS game, obviously, since I mainly play that. But what I'm saying is it's a game that was released, like it's in early access, but it was released in 2022. It's 2024 now. It's like almost 2 years later, and it's still early access, and it has been out there, and it hasn't really been doing like great. And in a way, it's a bit of a pity, because now when time has passed and I played other titles and also more ambitious like AAA titles, I have to say that this game, and I'm talking about Shatterline, which is Shatterline is developed and published by a studio called Fraglab, and the game is you've seen it before if you played games like this, especially since I have played a lot of these kind of games, and you can almost say it's a bit generic, but it plays pretty well. It's very recognizable when it comes to the gameplay, the movement, how the guns work, the perks or the system of progression overall. I think it's a bit slow, but I'm always like that. I just want to unlock it as soon as possible. But it's a kind of a quite ambitious game, because it's like PvP, but also PvE. And they have a lot of co-op missions and explore stuff when it comes to the PvE aspect of the game. And I know that a lot of people are enjoying that. There was some changes though that they did, Fraglab, that wasn't like everyone didn't like that kind of design choice or whatever. But the problem is now when you go back, I haven't made a video about this. Not sure if I will do it. I've done it before. But now I see that, like when it comes to average players, I think it's only plus 200 every day. And, that's when the game starts to be like dead.
Yeah, that is when you're dead.
It's really hard to do anything about that. I mean, of course, there's a core community, a small group of players, but I also had a problem to because I used gameplay in the background when I did this video regarding the 20K thing video.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a hard time to get into PvP matches, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I mainly used this time around PvE gameplay, which is fine. Again, they've done something good there.
Mm-hmm.
But it just shows again that it's so hard. It's really hard. It's so many games that just get stuck in almost, yeah, stuck in development can also be a thing. You know, you're not progressive enough when it comes to adding new things in the game, because the concentration span and also the span overall when it comes to players when the game is new
Mm-hmm.
is quite short. So you have to be, especially nowadays, quite aggressive when it comes to well, marketing is one thing, but I mean, again, when is the next DLC coming?
Mm-hmm.
When do you add a new map? When do you have a new character into the game? Like, you know, you have to have this very ready, like on the paper when you launch the game, and it has to happen quite fast. I think I've talked about before my experiences when it comes to the Battlefield series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the mistakes they've done very often is that they wait too long, too many months after release before they get things going with season 1. You know, it's like, come on, start. You know. So yeah, whatever. So, but I want to mention this game because even though it's almost considered dead, it's still a pretty decent shooter and can be fun also in co-op when you're just playing, you know, PvE, going on missions and doing stuff, you know, shooting some monsters and things like that. So yeah, that's been a part of my, as you say, I tend to play a lot of games, but this is one of those games I played recently, so I wanted to mention it.
Brilliant.
That's it.
Brilliant. Do tell. Yeah. Ooh, so it's been a long day. I think we've gotten to we've covered a lot of stuff. Your boy is this bando of dreams is quite tired. I don't know if you guys,
can imagine, bro. Yeah.
It's I wake up early and I go to bed late. And so I can feel the tiredness hitting me. I still have some work I need to finish up. Some work related work, some office work I need to finish up. So I'm gonna take a break, sort of like get something to eat, maybe something to drink, sort of recover a little bit of my stamina, maybe take a 20-minute nap, and then just get back and just finish up some of that work that I have due. You know, and just tomorrow is another day.
Tomorrow is another day for sure. See, your missus also are feeling in talking about Dragon Ball live action coming 2025 starring Jackie Chan. Okay.
You know, so to be honest,
that's never wrong. That's never wrong.
I actually thought about Alex this week. When it comes to anime, like there's this anime that came out in movie theaters here called Spy Family. There's a movie for it in the theaters at the moment, and I saw the ad on YouTube, and I was just thinking to myself, oh, this would be nice to if Alex was home, you know, it'd be nice to just go to the theaters with her and watch it together, because we've watched Spy Family together, like the series. Okay. So it would have been nice, that kind of thing. I saw it and I just thought to myself, the only people I would probably take to see something like that would probably be Alex or Xavi. And Xavi right now, he's currently still not up to date with his schoolwork yet. So I am going to keep to my word. If he's not caught up, he's not watching anything with me. So unfortunately, I'm still waiting for him to catch up. And Alex is just not here. So, so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
You can do that later. Catch up later with this.
It's going to be out of theaters by then, but such is life. Anyway,
we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish, guys. You have to go and do something else now. We have other things to do. No, but as always, it's been a pleasure. It's been really nice to have you guys here. I hope you have enjoyed. You got some tips when it comes to the gaming and also some Tele to check out. And take care now. Stay healthy and enjoy life. I hope you're also going to get some good weather. I am waiting for the sun also to get warmer here where I live. With that said, my friends, we'll talk in a week from now. Until then, stay frosty. Muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. How many of you guys yawned when you saw me yawn? You know, yawning is sort of like a human thing where it's sort of like pathological. No, it's not pathological. That's not the word. It's infectious. That's the word I'm looking for. So how many of you guys saw me yawn and then you yawned? If you did yawn, leave a comment. Let me say that I yawned too. Yeah, or me.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of interesting. I've heard, the science behind that a bit.
The science is brilliant.
In the group, you can be in a train wagon and someone is yawning over here, and then the girl
Herd
over there
mentality.
starts to yawn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes. So with that, thank you very much for everyone who came along for the podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast, this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast. We need more people in here. We enjoy you guys being here, but we want more of a conversation. And you guys give us a lot of conversation, which is awesome. Those of you who are in the chat and share, and those of you come in late, and when I say late, I mean that watch it in post. I know some of you, like Carlo Miranda, who's been a long running listener of this podcast, and basically we see, I see Carlo's comments every week when he drops them in there.
It's beautiful.
And similar to my brother-in-law Eric, he's a fan as well. He listens to the podcast. I don't think Eric listens live all the time. He tends to listen in post. So hey Eric. Pretty much shout out to everyone who listens to the podcast and leaves comments and shares a bit of feedback with us as well. And yeah, as always, you can find Rog at 40 Splash. That's the number 40 with SPLISH. He streams on a Tuesday and on a Sunday. That's correct. I kind of forgot for like a second there. I was like, what's the other day again?
How was this now? Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of like
correct.
I sort of stretched it out. You can find me at LP Garden. This garden to you pretty much everywhere else. LPGRDIN. You can find us at Simply Binge. All our tags are on the screen for those who enjoy the podcast, listening to us on YouTube Music. You can click that little button and see us. There's video content on there. So if you're listening, and I think this is why I love the way YouTube is doing it. The only thing is I just hope they stick to it because YouTube is so finicky about keeping things. Or I should say Google is, or Alphabet. But so far, I am really liking the idea that we have the podcast on YouTube and you can switch between the audio and the video version of it on the fly. So that way you can listen to it. I need to find a way to sort of sync in the old episodes in there as well, so that way you can still if they're not in two different places. But we'll find something. We'll figure something out. But for now, it works. But with that, thank you very much for everyone who's come by. As always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss out on any episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Simply Binge, and elsewhere. And we're still coming to again like it, I will give them for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. It's a wrap. That's
a wrap. That's a wrap.
A wrap. That's the episode.
A wrap.
Oh, you can actually see my background now. You can actually see outside my window.
That's the thing. It's been like this most of the times when we have been recording, especially lately since, it's more light in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So usually halfway through the podcast, I can actually see what's out there, not only like bright light coming in.
Mm-hmm. It's usually when it's dimmer.
Neighbors over there.
Yes, it's a block of flats behind me. So yeah, there's a nice little block of flats over there. Some people live there. I know some people who live over there. Really nice people.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Those of you who's still here, don't forget you gotta drop a like. I'm not seeing as many likes as we see viewers in here. So remember to like, subscribe, share. We need these things. That's how YouTube works. That's how it shares it to more people so that we can grow. But yes, I've got some ideas I want to do for the podcast going forward, but we shall see how they go. I'm thinking about doing some sort of. I'll tell you about it later, Raj. Tell you about it later. Tell you about it. Some cool. With that, guys, thanks for watching, listening, all that kind of good stuff. Why are we still here, Raj? Why didn't we end this already?
I don't know. I thought you are the button presser.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
You sure it's not you?
No, it's not me. It's you, sir.
You
Press the button.
Are you gonna drink anything after a podcast, or are you just gonna go to bed? Is it just water?
Oh, no. I don't go to bed. I'm gonna watch an episode of Yellowstone with my wife. That's what I'm gonna do.
Do you have anything while you're watching Yellowstone? Like, do you have a sip of remember that time when we sat down and we drank some what was it?
Yeah.
Bourbon?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I usually I usually take something. I usually eat a little snack before I go to bed. So I will do that at around 10:30 p.m. my time, which is half an hour from now. ish. That's what I gotta do.
Okay, cool. All right, let's do this. Let me get up in here. Let me go and check on my lads, see how they're doing in Level Air. I've also got some stuff to do, and then take a break, and then back to the grind.